What's going on, gang? Happy Sunday. It has been quite an adventurous week. It has been a bumpy ride. It has been a rocky ride. People went from protesting to celebrating in the streets literally almost instantaneously. That's just crazy to me how easily people were so worked up to the point that it was, looking like it could get very hot-blooded and negative and violent in the streets, and how that immediately was turned around into joy and jubilation and feelings of victory and triumph and winning. And we here for it all, baby. We here for it all. This is his ghetto point of view, bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of his ghetto point of view. Hope you guys are doing amazing today. Hope you guys are doing really well today. For those that, availed themselves of the democratic process and exercised their vote, kudos and felt there was a candidate who was worthy of their vote. Because it's not just about exercising our vote, guys. And I think sometimes we get that a little backwards. We should exercise the right to vote without question. It is not a permanent right. It's a bill that they have to keep renewing and stuff. So, there's a lot of negative connotation that even comes around it just in and of itself. So definitely taking advantage of it is something that's dope. Definitely not something to take lightly. But what I will say, though, is there was a lot of serious talk around this alleged and around the position many people seem to hold, irregardless of, old or young, educated in the highest schools in the land, all the way up to doctorate degrees, versus people that didn't even finish high school in some cases. Old, young, rich, poor, white, black, blue, green, and different. A lot of people shared the same sentiment that if you don't vote, you're throwing your vote away. Or if you don't vote, that is a vote for the opposing party. Now, what's odd and scary about that to me is if I don't vote, you're telling me that I've somehow voted for someone else. So are you saying that other party is going to cast a ballot on my behalf? I mean, and if you start getting into those technicalities with certain people, the conversations can get very left, very negative, very hostile, very edgy. So I'm just glad that the selection process is over. And, people have, for better or for worse, selected the candidate or group of candidates, team of candidates, duo of candidates that they felt best leaned or best went toward their best interest. Excuse me. Pardon me. That, so that's perfectly fine. And I can understand that and I can respect that. And, I can even, say kudos for that if, you did your research and you really understand the particulars of a person's campaign, the particulars of some of the legislation that they've put in, then you are 1,000% right in taking everything that is happening right now and either celebrating or being very upset. If you cast your ballot for a candidate and that candidate didn't end up being the candidate that they're projecting to take it at this point, then That is very unfortunate. They still have states counting, but at this point, they've pretty much resoundingly projected who is going to take the race. Jubilation is in the streets all across the country. Many people are not feeling so much. Many people are not feeling such jubilation. Many people are not feeling such joy, and they don't have the warm and bubblies, right? Warm, fuzzy, tinglies. Right now, they're worried and they're nervous that they feel that the particular candidates, the regime which is about to take over, may be one who, while very well seeming and very good intended, might not be the most ideal for where the country is right now. And while some people feel that is the team that one is absolutely the best team for the job right now, and I'm just here to listen and take in both sides. What's my position? Where do I lie? I mean, I just don't know how two people with such a track record for incarcerating African Americans, black people, people of color, people of African descent, people of descendants of slaves, indigenous people, foundational black people, whatever acronym you want to give to particular individuals to categorize and identify them. The two people who are now being tasked with running the party have a very long, drawn-out history of incarcerating people. Incarcerating black people with fervor, like not accidentally, not they like slipped, tripped, and fell on these black folks. Like you could argue they were creating policy and legislation that was targeted, locking in on particular groups of people in almost in a terrorizing, a terroristic fashion, in a terrorist-like fashion, going crazy at them, giving them the business over and over and over. No remorse, no thoughts to correct the wrongdoings. And I know some people will say, oh, well, that's not fair because Joe Biden has said he regrets the crime bill. He wouldn't vote on it that way now. He'd vote differently, etc. We need to be honest about ourselves about Joe Biden's participation in the 86, I believe it was 80, somewhere in the 80s was the initial one, where he changed the laws for crack cocaine versus powdered cocaine and made crack cocaine, which is arguably less cocaine than powdered cocaine, because powdered cocaine is more pure, more potent, so technically you have more of the drug in your possession, where he made powdered cocaine a crime punishable by much less jail time when comparable amounts of crack cocaine are found. So if I get found with, let's say, $50 worth of crack cocaine, I would get much more time than if I got found with $50 worth of powdered cocaine, pure cocaine. Why is this? Why create that type of disparity? Cocaine is cocaine. Cocaine is cocaine. Cocaine is cocaine. Now I understand some of their thinking is, well, people on one drug or the other may be more prone to do acts of violence to get one drug or the other. But then I would ask, well, who placed one drug or the other in their community? Don't let me get on my soapbox. You know what I'm saying? Because then who placed the drugs in a community? Who created these drugs? Who taught people how to produce and distribute these drugs? I mean, people didn't just wake up knowing how to be crack dealers. And we need to stop playing like that's the case. People don't just wake up and just say they want to be crack dealers. Even when you listen to people like, oh, they learning that stuff from hip-hop music. The only song that I've ever seen have a step-by-step. First, you take the baking soda, shake it like this, and do this like this, and whip it, whip it, whip. only song, shout to Aaron Magruder, because the only song I've ever seen say it that plainly. Hey, take a 1/3 of baking soda and whip it with your brick. Not too much water or it all goes to shit. Like, I've never seen that. The only time I've ever seen that is on the Boondocks. So, while yes, a lot of people glorify the lifestyle of hustling, trapping, getting it out the bando, making it move out the trap, you know, hustling in them trenches, getting to it how they live it, etc., etc. The list goes on and on, all the catchy sayings. They're not really instructing people on how to make it. And they weren't the first people who were making and distributing this rock. You could argue black people were probably the third level of people to start creating and distributing crack cocaine. Well, who was the first two levels? It is without question there had to be some type of higher power, some type of higher influence, some type of government body that has the capability to transport hundreds or thousands of kilos, because you're not talking about small amounts. When you talk about distributing to a country with 300 million people, if 25 or 50 million of those people partake in that type of party, like to enjoy that type of substance, that's an insane load you need. And so the easiest way to get such a large amount would be to, and the most cheap, cost-efficient, and productive way to get that large of an amount would be to purchase it all at one time. So you have to ask yourself, well, who has the finances to make this type of large purchase? Who has the planes, pilots, gas, weapons, logistics, knows the directions to fly this thing, and has the green light, most importantly, to get this thing back and forth across borders, across waters, across different countries, across different people, you know, moving past different checkpoints where people speak various languages? Who would have the capacity, who would have the ability, the capability to speak different languages, to get past different checkpoints, to, you know, get clearance in different areas, to not have to stop at certain checkpoints, to not have to check in at certain areas, to have the clearance to just keep flying straight, or if they do have to stop, you know, be checked very lightly and allowed to keep going. You know, we may not like to think about that, but that would have to be somebody with a lot of clout, a lot of push, a lot of pull, somebody who can pull a lot of strings, somebody who has pulled the strings for can have people pull the strings on their behalf, so they can move around with some level of anonymity, so be somewhat low key, somewhat anonymous, you know, somewhat discreet. Because I mean, you're not talking about a small amount of drugs. You're talking about kilos, thousands of pounds, easily. That's not a small feat. You need a huge plane for something like that. Because again, we talking about something that doesn't even grow naturally in most of the climates in North America. So you're talking about something you have to get from another country and bring in, whether that be Mexico, South America. You're talking about something that has to cross a border. You're talking about something that has to cross a border. whether that be getting poppies out the Middle East, however you doing it. You're talking about something that has to cross the border. If you look at the movie American Gangster, where it shows Frank Lucas had to literally go into the jungles of Vietnam, based on the connections that his brother made while his brother was in the military, and go see the heads of the Viet Congs, go see the Vietnamese people, and usher in deals to be able to get that amazing price for such a large quantity, and using his cousin, nephew, brother, depending on which version of the story you've read or heard about, using his cousin, using his family ties, his family resources to fly that large amount in and out of the country, using military firearms, using military personnel to fly that large amount in and out of the country. You can't just do that. Why would you even have business of being in Vietnam to know that the Vietnamese would have that type of connect? You don't know if you don't know. And because he had people that were able to put in the work for him and, create a bridge for commerce and exchange to be done between these two separate nations that generally would never interact with one another, but are going through the same tyranny and very much subjected to the same oppressions by the same oppressive people. It's easy to see why they would get in bed together and do business together so freely, because they share a common enemy. They feel they share common opposition. They feel they are in the crossfires or in the crosshairs, being aimed at by a common threat. Things like that. The enemy of my enemy is my friend type of vibes. The enemy of my enemy is my friend type of vibes. You got beef with those dudes over there. I got beef with those dudes over there. We may have a lot more in common than that, but at least right then and there, we found a commonality that will band us together. Everything we build on top of that is icing on the cake, but we found something that can strongly tie us together, because our mutual disdain, our mutual hate, our mutual animus, our mutual desire to off them dudes up the block will keep us locked in and on code with one another, because I wouldn't want nothing to happen to you, because then that gives me less manpower for what I need to do. And I'm sure you feel the same way about me, at least while we are on this joint mission. After that, we may get back to banging on one another, but while we on this joint mission, we on that type of code. We on time with each other, and it's just unfortunate that many people in this country don't even have that type of camaraderie with one another, let alone with people outside the country and what we call our diaspora. And I think sometimes that is intentionally done to keep people's minds limited, to keep their scope of things limited, to keep their understanding of the world around them limited. I think very often people who you could find yourself having tons in common with are kept segregated and so far removed from your reality that extreme circumstances like you joining the military and being put on tour in other countries would have to occur before you would meet these people who share the same type of things you like, may like the same type of music, eat the same type of food, be attracted to the same type of females. All that might be real, but you would never know because they live way on another side of the country, another side of the globe, and it's poor over there too, and it's very hard for them to get out that country too, to go see things and learn about the world. Even nowadays, where they say we have the internet at our disposal and, everybody's so interconnected, people still aren't interconnected to the degree they should be, because we have so much distractions keeping what we look at, what we search up, what we read upon, what we study limited in its scope. We have so many distractions. We have so many things just pulling us back to the same old ways that you can almost be just standing on your block or never leaving your corner in a proverbial sense, just being online, being on social media around the same people you would have been on the block with, being on social media with the same people you would have just been chilling on the block with, except now you're just doing it on social media. And you never talk to anybody else. You never learn about anybody else unless it's in a meme or some type of joke. You don't really venture outside of talking to that same group of people that you grew up with. Now y'all don't see each other as much physically, so now y'all just digitally standing around on the corner doing nothing together. What has changed? Well, y'all go live together and drink and stuff on the live, or y'all get a Discord room or something and chat in the room, you and all your peoples, or a Facebook room and you and all your peoples chat in a private Facebook room. But I mean, what has changed? If it's literally the same people that you would have been talking to just on your block, just in your neighborhood, just in your local community, just in your region, just in your town. If you live in a small town of like a couple thousand people and you don't really take the time to meet anybody outside of that, online, you're only going to be around them same few thousand people, few hundred people. You're never going to, and you never will, unless an outside force gives you the initiative or creates a pathway. There's very little that's going to open your mind to things outside of that. And I very much feel that is done intentionally. While we say that the internet is this great equalizer and, the digital divides are less and less, and there's no more digital rift. There's understanding and information and out there for everybody to consume and level up and become the best versions of themselves. That is 1,000% facts. But not if you don't know. What you need to, what would help you level up in your particular field. You don't know the particular professionals you need to speak to. You don't know the scholars. You don't know the advice that's out there for you to look at. How would you know? And if people around you ain't on that type of time, meaning that they're not thinking about those things, how would you know? Until an external force comes in and educates you, changes your life, changes your perspective, changes your narrative, changes the way you see things, changes the way you vibe, changes the way you think, challenges you to think. Because a lot of times we think we be thinking, we think we be brilliant, we think we be smart, we think we be intelligent, we think we know what's up, we think we have the pulse of the streets, of the boardroom, of the classroom down. And then we find out we know absolutely nothing. In the blink of an eye, we can find out we know absolutely nothing. In the blink of an eye, we think we could know something, but not really believe in what we think we know. And that whole paradigm, that matrix, that whole house of cards can come crumbling down real quick. As Beyonce says, sometimes sandcastles wash away. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes sandcastles don't work out that way. You know what I'm saying? Sandcastles wash away. That is such a fire song too. She do not get the credit she freaking deserves, man. Like, people really need to sometimes fall back with the Beyonce hate. Like, I get it. Sometimes she's not the most socially active person that we would like to see, despite, the fact that she has bought, rehab facilities out there in Houston and does sponsor, single mother programs in Houston and other areas around the country. And she's done so much for raising the awareness of artists that don't have as big a platform. But she's also done some very shrewd business things, like try to take artists from other from other labels that don't have as large a platform as well. They might not be as popular with the people. So she feels like she can kind of use her popularity to sway a business decision and get the people to be like, hey, we support her making these shrewd business decisions. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, your heart is not for business. So, hey, it is what it is. But, so I say all that to say, the internet is not as much of a equalizer as they try to make it out to be. And quite often those outside interferences still need to come into play, whether it be online or in actual 3D in your life, to make you see a new light, to make you see something different, to make you see something else. And then you got to have a mind that's open and receptive when you get that new information. So it's multi-tiered, you know what I'm saying? But let me get back to this paper. So yeah, I just don't know, man. I don't know if Kamala and Joe are the best candidates for this type of time. And time will tell. We will see. So many things going on in the world right now. Other countries are really looking at us to be the leaders right now and to steady the world almost and be a guiding light for other Western powers and other upcoming powers to see the mold and to see the way we operate and handle and can either survive or thrive through these times, and the impact it takes on our economy and the impact it's having on our citizens. And they'll look at that and say, well, if America can get through it, so can we. America did it. Look, America did it. America did it. America's getting it done. We can get it done too. But when we're on massive lockdowns, when we're on, and sometimes rightfully so, because health and safety is paramount. Health and safety is paramount. Health and safety is paramount. So if the medical professionals can give us, a sensible reason as to why they feel that needs to be done, and that's something we definitely got to consider and figure out if that's the best step forward. And this country has shown that in times of we've done that, and unfortunately we've done that to the detriment of our middle class. We've done that to the detriment of tens of thousands of small to mid-sized businesses. We've done that to the detriment of millions of people going on to unemployment week after week after week. New unemployment claims week after week after week. New jobless claims week after week after week. And that can kind of be misleading sometimes too, just because if I was working 40 hours a week, but then when I come back from, this situation, the national shutdown, when I come back from that, I might only get 25 hours. So I'm still going to be applying for unemployment because of now I got to make up that 15 hours a week, and unemployment will pay you some of that 15 hours a week that you're missing. So it can be a little misleading sometimes when you say, oh, the job numbers are up or the job numbers are down, because people may be accustomed to working full-time, and because now they're working part-time, the insurances are there to act as a subsidy and give them a safety net or a base to continue to operate from in these times where you got to buy gloves and masks, and things are some places are price gouging, some places are really taking advantage of the fact that we need more things, and that sucks. But I mean, that's business, so your heart would be like, damn, that sucks. But I mean, if you was on the other side of that register and you had all them boxes of stuff and you knew that you could get the money for it, wouldn't you? I mean, because at the end of the day, business is supply and demand. And if I have a supply and the demand shoots through the roof, as a good business person, I'm going to add a few dollars. I might not go crazy, but I am going to add a few dollars. Plus, in times of uncertainty, times of unrest, times when the delivery systems and the logistical systems to get things here from other countries, to get things across the country, may be shutting down. Maybe I was able to charge $5 for a gallon of milk, but because now I was getting milk deliveries once a week on Friday, but now I gotta wait and get one food delivery every 2 to 3 weeks because of how the gas went up. There's less drivers because everybody got to take, people are going out on sick leave. So less drivers, less manufacturer people, less production people, less people all up and down the production chain is going to lead to me as the merchant having less product. And so with the products I have, I got to make a decision. Do I want to just hold these for myself? Because I could do that too. Don't get it twisted. There's going to come a time when people are just like, I don't even want to sell this stuff no more because I don't know what I'm going to be able to do with that money. We got to talk about that. What are we going to be able to do with money when we have nothing to buy with it? What you going to do with a bunch of money in your pocket and the store's like, we sold out. We don't know when we getting more stuff. I got this last little bit of stuff. I got to keep it so me and my family know we could eat for the next 3 to 6 months. You really want to buy stuff from me? All right, well, it's going to be, everything is double and triple. I'm sorry, I don't really want to sell it. If you're going to make me sell it and gamble on whether I could get more stuff or not, I gotta tax you. That might sound crazy. That might sound wrong. To me, it sounds like business. And this also sounds like this is his ghetto point of view, where we bring you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of his ghetto point of view. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Please continue to like the show, share the show, subscribe to the show, tell a friend and tell a friend. Wednesdays and Sundays, we get into it. Wednesdays and Sundays, we get into it. Wednesdays and Sundays, we get into it. Please let your friends know his ghetto point of view is the show that they need to check out. If they looking for the newest, the hottest, the latest show that's coming up in these streets right now, it's his ghetto point of view. Phantm Phuego is the host that you need to hear. Phantm Phuego is the host that you need to hear. Phantm Phuego is the host that you need to hear. And this is the audience to be a part of. This is the community to be involved with. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Questions, comments, critiques, criticisms. You have any products that you like to put in front of our audience. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His HIS ghetto GHETTO point POINT of OF view VIEW. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Get at us, get at us, get at us. You have a product that you would like to display in front of our audience, a new movie, a new book. You're working on a new clothing line. You have a new album that you're about to drop. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. You have a new catering service. You have a construction or painting service. We have a very diverse audience that needs all type of different services, that's interested in all type of different products. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. We can send you the analytics and the stats. You can look them over yourself and see that this is where your products can grow. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. As always, shouts to the amazing people over at AJ's Kitchen, proudly catering his ghetto point of view every single week. The food is delicious. It's vegan. It's good for the soul. I got one of these soul food Sunday plates right now. Chickpeas, curry chickpeas with naan, brown rice. Oh my God. And she made some apple pie from scratch. One of the young ladies on the team over there. I'm sorry, pumpkin pie from scratch. From scratch, y'all. Pumpkin pie from scratch. And it's hitting. And it's vegan and it's gluten free and there's no allergens. You know, they're very careful about all that stuff. Nut free, allergen free. None of the glucose, none of that stuff. Everything is holistic, organic, and delicious. They don't skip a beat when it comes to the flavor, textures, taste, sweetness. This food is good, and it's good for you. It's hitting and it's hitting the soul. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. Happiness served, order up. That is AJSKITCHINN. AJSKITCHINN. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. Happiness served, order up. Alright guys, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to jump back into it. Thanks so much for rocking. Let's go. Yeah, man. So we back, and first and foremost in this segment, man, the first thing I want to do is just send a RIP and a condolences to the family of King Von. Like it literally makes no sense. This dude is having an amazing run this year. Like I know he's not gonna be talked about as one of the top artists of the year, you know, because he's not really that mainstream or, you know, that high up. But as far as the underground scene goes, as far as the mixtape scene, as far as, you know, the SoundCloud rappers, the people lighting up Spotify, what have you, the people that got the blogs talking, people that got people buzzing. Right now, King Von definitely had a huge buzz going for himself. DJ Academics most famously called him just recently in a Complex episode of everyday struggle, one of the dopest storytellers in the game right now. Mainstream, underground, mixtapes, larger projects, didn't matter. He just said he's one of the dopest storytellers in the game right now. Everything I've heard from him, I can definitely understand how that can be the position. He ain't one of those dudes rhyming just to rhyme. He not rhyming just to rhyme. He not just putting words together. He's not really caring about every single sentence being a perfectly English graded bar rhyming. He's more concerned about telling you a story and getting you into his perspective in his life. And it's just so tragic that someone so talented is going so young. Just so talented, going right away. And he had just been on Everyday Struggle doing a bunch of dope interviews. For him to now be gone. Davon Bennett, better known as the artist King Von, is now gone. NPR article reports. King Von, a Chicago rapper who found success in his city before relocating to Atlanta, was shot and killed early Friday morning in a fight in a parking lot of the Monaco Hookah Lounge on Trinity Ave in the city, sparked a shootout between two groups, according to police. He was 26. On Saturday, at APD, Atlanta PD said it had issued a warrant for a suspect in King Von's killing, and that the suspect was being treated for a gunshot wound at Grady Hospital in Atlanta. The homicide of Bennett is closed with this arrest, the APD wrote in a statement. In the early hours of Friday, authorities were still trying to piece together how the rapper born Daquan Bennett, that's a dope name, Daquan, died, and whether the Atlanta Police Department was involved in his death or that of the two other men who were also fatally wounded. In a statement provided to NPR on Friday, APD says that King Von was shot and killed during this morning's shootout, and we are seeing rumors being spread indicating that he was shot and killed by APD officers. At this time, our investigators believe Mr. Bennett was shot during the initial shootout between the two groups of males prior to the police responding and attempting to stop the shooting. Yeah, this whole situation is so convoluted, and I would hate to find out that it was one of the police's bullets that took this young man's life while they were there trying to de-escalate the situation. They end up intensifying it and taking the life of someone. That would be truly tragic. Additionally, Mr. Bennett was not located at the scene but arrived at a hospital shortly after the shooting via private vehicle. The investigation into this incident remains open and very active. Vaughn's death reverberated quickly, first starting as a rumor on Twitter before being confirmed by sources close to the rapper. Ghazi Shami, the CEO and founder of Empire, Vaughn's record label, first appeared to confirm the news with an Instagram tribute this morning. Bennett was born in the Parkway Gardens neighborhood of Chicago in 1994, and though he retreated to Atlanta to find peace and escape his hometown, his trouble with the law never truly escaped him. Many of his most popular songs pay tribute to Chicago. He was best known as a chronicler of street life, building narratives of tense nights on the streets and his desire to escape the gangster's mentality. The last time I spoke with King Von, he was lamenting his current situation as an Atlanta resident, unable to spend time in his hometown of Chicago because cops and ops were too familiar with his moves. He missed home, but was comfortable in Atlanta, the rap scene in this city, after all, the most prominent in the nation. As one of the industry's quickest rising stars, Von commanded a presence rarely given to outsiders. The way he explained his situation at the time made sense. I love Atlanta because I live there with no problems in it. And that's where there are more rappers, he explained in an interview for Passion of the West. I like Chicago better though because I have my people out there. The police know me too well in Chicago, and there are people that don't like me. Vaughn existed in the post-drill landscape of Chicago, indebted to the first-generation stars like G Herbo, Chief Keef, and King Louie, but intent on carving his own stylistic aesthetics into the genre. And without question, that's definitely what he was doing, especially on his most album. His latest album took O Block. Welcome to O Block. It's amazing. The LeVon James mixtape, super fire, that he put out earlier this year. It just doesn't make sense. One of his biggest hits, 2020, took it to the O from the LeVon James he released back in March. Finds Vaughn narrating a night on the town with a girl constantly having to thwart haters, rival gang members, and those jealous of his stardom. I bust a U, pulled up to the spot. She lived by the park. It's getting dark. My Glock on my lap. I'm just thinking smart. Few rappers are able to make songs that bring relatability to the stress, trauma, and pain that comes with growing up in inner city Chicago, a target of police and neighborhood rulers alike. And that's one of the things that I feel people appreciated about King Von, because you have a lot of people who may glorify the streets, while somebody like King Von, while he never was shy about letting you know where he came from. He very clearly and eloquently expressed that, there's a lot of issues and stress and negative circumstance that comes with living that type of life. And so many people that truly live those type of lives, truly that get it out on them streets, don't want to be in them streets no more. And they're doing everything they can in their power to get off them streets. While you have people that grew up in different type of situations, more affluent, more sheltered, more catered to, with more, resources available for them to do different types of things that they like, being so attracted to what's going on in the streets that they will push away their nice, cushy life to go to this thing that they're attracted to. And often they're very easy to spot as frauds from the jump. And they'll go so far as even financing things to happen in the streets just so they can say that they have that credit under their belt now. I think it's so silly, but you'd be surprised how many people do that in all walks of life. Teachers, lawyers, doctors, veterinarians, firefighters, police officers that get themselves involved in the street life just for the sake of being able to say they had that under their belt when they never needed to, because they probably came from a family that had stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Moms had a 401k, dads had a good job, or dad worked a little business, and moms had a nice little home-based business, or moms, moms and dad together was making a good bit of money. Whatever the situation was, you have so many people that are attracted to this life in the streets, while the real people that really be in the streets want to get out of the streets as fast as possible. And it's a never-ending struggle of trying to figure out a way to permanently get out the streets and never have to look back, because of the trauma, of the PTSD, of the anxiety, of the long sleepless nights, of the tension, of the never feeling like you can sleep easy, of the constantly looking over your shoulder, always thinking that somebody about to hit your clock, and always thinking that your number is coming. That's not a good way to live for anybody. Young, old, black, white, no matter how many guns you have, how big you think your army is, because the more people you have around you, that's just more people that you got to worry about if you could trust or not as you become more successful. It's a very hard way to live. And anybody with any intelligence is going to be trying to do everything in their power to get out of that life, unless it's a life that you're so committed to that you don't know how to get out. But usually the very savvy people that really get it on the streets figure it out. This was already a bandit year for Vaughn. The article continues, and the release of O Block was likely to be a celebratory cap on his ascent to rap's upper echelon. One of his biggest hits, Crazy Story, encapsulates everything that made him the next voice of Chicago rap. It's both witty and tragic, stuck between glorifying violence and lamenting the fact that it ever had to come to this. I grabbed my Glock, I've been through a lot, but it still shoot like new. I grabbed my Glock, it been through a lot, but it still shoot like new. We at the top, yeah, we lost a lot, but that's just how it gotta go. Man, King Von knew how quickly success could come, but more importantly, how conspiring forces can make it go away in an instant. Excellent story from NPR. R.I.P. man. R.I.P. That's all I can say. It's R.I.P. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So young, so much left to offer to the game. So much left to offer to the game. So much left to offer to the game. I wish his family nothing but continued success. Definitely listen to that LeVon James and that Welcome to Old Block. Run it up for this man. Run it up for this man. Run it up for this man. This is his ghetto point of view. Bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews, which is the twist of his ghetto point of view. This is your first time listening to the show. Thank you so much. Please make sure you like, subscribe to the show. Get notified, get your notifications, hit your notifications bell so you're notified the next time the show comes out. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Wednesdays and Sundays, this show is on and popping. Make sure you share the show on all your social medias. If the show is something you like, you hear something you like, share it on your social medias. I thank you so kindly. I thank you so kindly. I thank you so kindly. Also, guys, this show will never be able to rock out without the support of people like you. So please, guys, please donate. The PayPal is Phantm Phuego at gmail.com. That's PHANTM PHUEGO at gmail.com. That's Phantm with no O, PHANTM PHUEGO. Phantm Phuego at gmail.com. And the Venmo is Phantm PHANTM dash or hyphen Phuego PHUEGO. So Phantm dash Phuego dash 42. The number 4, the number 2. So Phantm dash Phuego dash 42 at Venmo.com. 2 ways you can support the show, support the movement. But the easiest and most appreciated way you guys can always continue to support, just subscribe to the show, like the show, share the show out. It is free $99 for you to support and show love, and I definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope I continue to provide value, entertainment, enlightenment, and give you something to listen to, something to be motivated by, something to make you think, something to educate you, and entertain you, and something that you feel comfortable sharing out to your peoples, your party. You know, you hear something in this show that you're like, yeah, that was dope. I really like what he said here. Let me share this out to my peoples. They would definitely enjoy this as well. You working out at the gym, you got a long commute home. His ghetto point of view, pop that on. Let's just take it from there, man. Let's go on a stroll. Let's max out on these reps. Or let's hit the bag or practice them jump shots. Whatever you're doing. Phantm Phuego and my illustrious group of amazing guests that come through to the show will definitely keep your mind right and keep your thoughts a-buzzing as you working on that jump shot or dropping that 2-piece with a biscuit combination on them. Or just on the train, looking at somebody looking at in your face real crazy while I'm telling a joke and you just bust out laughing right in their face. And they're like, why is you laughing right in my face? Spitting all in their eye sockets. His ghetto point of view is on and you are way too close, man. You are too close. Get them dial-on out your face. You're too close, man. You're too close. Anyway, his ghetto point of view at gmail.com is where to get at us with any advice that you possibly are looking for to help you in your journey. Any questions you have, comments, critiques, criticisms. If you have a product that you'd like to get in front of our audience, his ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. R.I.P. to King Von, no man. R.I.P. King Von. That is so horrible. R.I.P. King Von, man. In other news, though, completely switching gears, Spotify, in the legal trouble that they're having, of course. Now, this is the game Spotify want to play with people. This is the game Spotify want to play with people. So Spotify is willing to promote artist songs to more users if the users agree to lower royalty payments. So if you will let me pay you less per song than I already pay you, you will let me pay you even less per song, I will promote your music more. Spotify, you already get paid when my music spins on your platform. Spotify, why would you not want my music to get the most spins possible? Craziness. But according to BusinessInsider.com and an excellent article by Grace Dean, points are as follows. As part of an upcoming trial, artists will be able to promote their songs on Spotify to more listeners, but they must agree to a lower royalty rate. Artists can select tracks that Spotify will favor when recommending new music to users. Spotify won't guarantee that the artist tracks will be added to playlists. Instead, it would only recommend music that it thinks listeners want to hear. The giant announced that the new scheme on Monday, and it will trial it, quote unquote, soon. Artists will soon be able to promote their music to more users on Spotify, provided they take a pay cut on the platform, the streaming giant announced Monday. Spotify currently recommends new music to listeners using personalized algorithms that are based on the artist a user listens to, the time of day, and the release dates of the songs. This accounts for around 16 billion listens a month, Spotify said. Whew. 16. Time out, guys. Let's do some math. 16 billion listens a month. They getting 16 billion listens a month. And out of those 6, they want to pay you less. They want to pay you less. I'll promote your music to a larger audience. If you take a smaller cut. What? What, Spotify? What? 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 My head hurts thinking about that. You've lost it, Spotify. You've really lost it. Like there's no way I'm agreeing to this. There's no way. Artists, do me a favor, artists. Do not agree to this. 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 Don't agree to this. This is crazy. 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 It makes no sense. There's no way. Why? You already making the money. What? Why? What? Yo, Spotify, stop playing with people, man. Stop playing with people. Like, what? Why? Why should an artist do this? What? Where's the benefit for an artist that does this? Just tell me how do they benefit? Just tell me, how do they benefit? Spotify, what are you talking? You already in court for shenanigans, Spotify. Spotify, you already in court for shenanigans. What are you talking about, Spotify? Spotify, what are you talking about, Spotify? Spotify, you. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, y'all. I know I sound like a broken record, but Spotify is hurting. This is hurting my head to think about this. Like really think about this. Like, y'all already pay people 0.000000000. Like, y'all already paying people nothing. Y'all already pay people nothing. You paying people nothing. Like, literally settle. Almost settle. Like, what do you... How can this be acceptable? Why do people keep accepting this from Spotify? Why do people keep accepting this from Spotify? Why do people keep accepting this nonsense from Spotify? What is Spotify doing that is so amazing that we should tolerate this from Spotify? No, Spotify. No, Spotify. No, Spotify. I need people to say it with me. No, Spotify. No, Spotify. No, Spotify. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. This makes no sense. You want people to take what? You want people to give... How much you trying to pay people? No, Spotify. This will not stand. This is not... You're not tolerating this. This is craziness. You talking absolute craziness. You make no sense with what you're saying. I don't understand why you think that any of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. I don't understand. What the... Like, I apologize, y'all. I'm just really... Alright, let me jump into this article some more. Artists will soon be able to promote their music to more users, provided that they take a pay cut on the platform. Spotify currently recommends new users. I'm sorry. Artists will be paid less for songs users surface in this way. When asked by The Verge, Spotify declined to say how much lower this promotional recording royalty rate was, but added that the idea is for artist teams to be able to earn a positive ROI by using the tool. The company said in its press release that its users were its priority. Of course, the users are your priority because they pay you, but you don't give a dang about the artist whose content is allowing you to get paid. I don't know one person at Spotify who make music. Now, I'm not saying none of the lower people at Spotify make music. The people that work in management, the people that work in promotions or sales, what have you, the people that do work with the artists that are directly signed to Spotify. A lot of those people are artists as well, or producers as well, or engineers as well, or DJs as well, etc. So they love being in the scene like that and beginning to learn the business and the admin part of the game as well. So those people, I'm talking about the people that are at the top of Spotify. I haven't seen none of them put out an album of any merit, of any worth that anybody wants to listen to. So the at least 15 billion of the 16 billion listens they get every day are completely from them just being an aggregator of material, like them being the Netflix almost of the music world. Now they're starting to have artists on their roster that they're having direct deals with, so they can kind of put out their own content and supplement that with the content that they pay for just via licensing. But you don't pay people nothing close to $1 a stream. You don't pay people close to a quarter, 10 cents. The company said in its press release that users were its priority and that artists couldn't use the promotions to override the recommendation system. We won't guarantee placement to labels or artists, and we only ever recommend music we think listeners will want to hear. Sure. Anyway, the test will only apply to Spotify radio and autoplay formats, which is where listeners want to discover new music, it said. It would later expand it to other personalized areas of its platform and added, people have increasingly turned to Spotify and other streaming services during the pandemic as they look for ways to stay entertained at home. Spotify's number of monthly active users grew 29% year on year to 320 million in the quarter to September. So you're making more money? So you want people to... So while you're making more money, you're making more money, and then somehow, I'm sorry guys, if you heard some noise in the background, it's crazy out here. Do apologize. So you're making more money, but you want people to get less. As you're making more money, you want to pay people less money. The same workers whose content and creativity and ingenuity and production value and creative ingenuity and their marketing dollars, because Spotify doesn't market for you. Their marketing dollars, their labels marketing dollars, their production team's marketing dollars, these artists' budgets are what help buoy Spotify sales. Then on top of that, you want to pay the artist less. You're losing me, Spotify. You're losing me with this one, man. You're losing me with this one. I don't know what to say about this. This is absolutely insane. This makes absolutely no sense. And this is the type of stuff that made Joe Budden leave. But people out here talking about Joe Budden's like Joe Budden crazy for leaving. Joe Budden's is crazy for wanting to leave though. But this is what they doing. Joe Budden's crazy for wanting to leave. But this is what they doing. I'm lost for words with this one. I'm lost for words with this one. This is exactly why Joe Budden left. This is exactly why Joe Budden left. I don't know what else to say. Like, you guys get paid entirely too much to treat people like trash. And yet you still do. And I get it. Business is for business. Business is not for your heart or your emotions. I completely understand all that, guys. Don't make none of this right. Don't make none of it okay. Don't make none of it acceptable. And when artists like Jay-Z come up with companies like Tidal and he's asking people to come in on it, get ownership with him and move away from the Spotify's and the Apple Musics of the world, it's because of things like this. Tidal literally plays artists the most, but artists don't mess with Tidal the least. And I'm not saying this to say Jay-Z's a good guy. I'm just saying that is a better business model. It is a better business deal. You get more bang for your buck. The listeners get a good quality experience, and artists get paid at a higher rate. Just something to think about. Spotify, you have lost your mind. Spotify, you have lost your mind. Spotify, you have lost your damn mind. We're going to take a break real quick. I'll be right back, guys. This is His Ghetto Point of View, bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews with a twist of just His Ghetto Point of View. Ooh, ooh, ooh. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com is the place you can get at us. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com is the place you can get at us. And yes, this show does come on Spotify, and it's powered by Anchor. It comes on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Republic, Overcast Radio, Overcast FM. I am very much appreciative for all of the different platforms that give me an opportunity to reach all of you amazing listeners, amazing listeners in this amazing audience. This family that I'm getting to build would not be possible without these different platforms. But don't get it twisted. The platforms need us just as much as we appreciate, honor, and respect everything that they allow us to do with the platforms. But you can build a stage all you want, shine it up and polish it up. If I don't come on this stage and do something amazing, people will not stand around to watch. So, thank you very much. Much love to Anchor, much love to Spotify, much love to Overcast, much love to all of those amazing aggregators and platforms. But let's treat the artists, treat the creators, treat the content developers, treat the producers with the same level of respect and professionalism as you want at people at Spotify trying to create generational wealth and trying to leave a lasting legacy for your families. Let's all figure out ways we can all leave lasting legacies. It doesn't have to be one person making all the money. Despite what the claims are, it does not have to be one person making all of the money. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com, HISGHETTOPOINT, His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. His Ghetto Point of View rocks out on Wednesdays and Sundays. Thank you guys so much for continuing to subscribe to the show, for sharing the show on your social media platforms. Please let me know which episodes you guys love and what you like to hear from me more from the show. More interviews on the business side, more interviews on the production side, more artist interviews. You like the mixture that's coming in so far? You want me to keep the mixture flowing and just rotate different types of acts, different types of interests, different types of professionals in and out? Because I personally enjoy that. But I want to know what you guys would love to hear, and I'll definitely cater to that as well. Because, His Ghetto Point of View would be nothing without you guys. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And I'll be right back. For real this time. I'm out. Be back. Yeah, we back, guys. Don't forget, please make sure to like, share, subscribe to the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Wednesdays and Sundays, we get into it like it's nothing to it. Thank you guys once again so much, because you could be anywhere in the world, but you decide to spend this time with me, and I really, really do appreciate it. Whether you're listening to this show while you working on your jump shot or you swinging crack rocks, as they were saying in Boiler Room, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. This show is for the henchmen and the hustlers, the people in the boardroom, the people that carry briefcases, and the people that practice boxing. You know what I'm saying? This show is for the people. This is His Ghetto Point of View, bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of His Ghetto Point of View, y'all. So in other news, guys, a CNBC article talking about the tech industry and how they are getting very involved in the world of sports. And it's a very, very dope thing. Augmented, guys, for those that don't know, is going to supersede virtual reality. They're fearing that virtual reality just cannot keep up with the pace of the games, the level of technological pull that would have to happen. They're trying to do it VR. They're not getting the quality they need when they're doing courtside view, especially in the NBA world. They've been doing it a lot. They're getting a lot of complaints about the graininess, the drop signals, speed of play, moving at a pace that the computers are not being able to keep up with just yet. Now, of course, when 5G rolls in, they're claiming that that will help with those issues, but there be maybe some issues that arise when they bring 5G in. So to supplement the VR, they're talking about AR. And for those that don't know, AR is augmented reality, as opposed to virtual reality where you put on a headset or some other type of device and it almost transports you mentally into this other world, this other reality that you can interact with based on wearing these devices, hand, gloves, having a controller, having a headset, etc. Augmented reality literally tries to simulate you enhancing your existing environment by these nodes or these different stations or satellites that'll be in your remote home, that'll be in your home, around your home, in the museum, at the game, wherever, at your office, place of business, and it will simulate or augment your reality to make it seem as that event that you're interested in, that thing that you're interested in, the movie, etc., is going on right there in front of you. So just imagine you trying to watch the game, and the game, you sitting in your living room with you and 10 of your friends, and the game is acting like it's going on right in your living room. And y'all sitting around in the middle of your living room. It literally looks like players are dribbling the ball, going up and down the court, etc. And y'all just sitting there enjoying that. Or a fight. I can see individual sports being the first sport that this may actually look really, really good in, because that fight this weekend, seeing that in AR right in your living room, that would have probably been beautiful. But yeah, I could see this definitely growing into basketball. Football is going to be crazy because you have so many players on the field. Soccer is such a fast-paced sport with a lot of players on the field. Basketball, not so many players on the field, but the pace of the action, the angles, etc. I'm just wondering how they will pull it off, but I'm sure they're figuring it out. So leagues, including the NBA and MLB, continue to upgrade virtual reality offerings, but augmented reality could make money sooner. Definitely a great report. Shout out to CNBC.com. Sports leagues are betting on augmented reality as virtual courtside seats can't match the real thing. Definitely check out this amazing, amazing read. Dope article. Can't recommend it enough. So sports leagues are turning to technology to bring fans closer to the game, even if they're physically distant. Facebook is exploring how to better mimic the National Basketball Association's courtside seat in virtual reality. Major League Baseball is enhancing its stats to prepare more augmented reality offerings. The National Hockey League and Major League Soccer are both working on upgrading their VR and AR offerings too, but it's not clear whether consumers are ready to convert to that market, to a market that before the pandemic, researchers estimated could help grow the global economy by $1.5 trillion. Get to the bat. It's still missing a couple of things to be successful, says Nicholas Avila, who is Chief Technology Officer at information technology and services company Globant. VR is still in the experimental phase. To keep fans engaged during the pandemic, Sports League used more digital offerings like virtual courtside seats and partnered with social media companies like Snapchat and Facebook to create AR or augmented reality experiences. The experiences help to keep fans engaged, but sports clubs eventually want to make money from those experiences, especially VR, which totally immerses viewers in a 360-degree computer-generated scene. Avila estimates that's years away. He noted that devices supporting high bandwidth 5G connectivity, which is necessary for high-definition mobile VR experiences, are just coming to market. Also, VR experiences are meant to emulate the real world, and today's devices can't meet those expectations, which is why they're going to look at the AR more, because the VR is not quite there, and they don't know, even as they advance the technology, if it will ever be able to simulate the world as much as an augmented reality possibly could. We're still in the experimentation phase, but just like out of the blue, we had a rise in gaming experiences. The same thing will happen with VR. So they're anticipating this thing to happen. They're just biding their time and getting ready and hoping when it gets ready, they're ready, which I'm sure they will be, because these people always stay 10 steps ahead, guys. That's why they stay on top. Although Facebook recently launched a new generation of Oculus VR devices and is discussing adding more VR NBA games next season, the company said better camera lenses would be required to truly replicate the court-side seat experience. Robert Shaw, Facebook's head of global sports media and league partnerships, said the company is still at the early stage of figuring out how we can create this better experiences of sitting in that front row seat. Is that truly a better experience of sitting in a front row seat? I don't know, man. If I'm paying all that money, because of course once they figure this thing out and they create a tiered system, they're literally going to have it to where, okay, people are going to get seating in these virtual arenas or augmented arenas based on ticket pricing. I guarantee they're not going to just let people just be at the front row of the game if they're not paying front row of the game money. And of course, it won't be the same as having to pay for a physical seat ticket. But I'm sure there will be a tiered system to the experience that you would have. And that would make some people, of course, more likely to continue to use versus others. So I'm sure those are things they all got to figure out. Why would somebody opt for this as opposed to just watching the game, streaming it normally, if they're not going to be able to fully immerse in such an enjoyable experience? So while it may be dope novelty or something that people will enjoy for a birthday, holiday, give it away as a gift, etc., those diehard fans, of course, those courtside ticket holders will have their full immersed augmented or VR experience, and they have to worry about making sure those fans get their money's worth and get a better experience than everyone else is getting. The fans who pay for Skybox tickets need to get a better experience than anyone else is getting. And how do you replicate that for those type of fans in a digital world? Shaw said Facebook isn't close to the VR offering, and it will make that a priority once they feel good about the experience is having enough people walk through the virtual doors to experience it. So they need more fans to lean that way, and that's coming. In the next few years, that's definitely coming. They don't have nothing to worry about when it comes to that. Facebook wants to make its VR courtside games financially sustainable for the NBA, so they see it as an incremental revenue opportunity. Tiered system, the more money you pay, the more experience you get. We do believe that it's a premium experience that's afforded to the masses, Shaw said. That's got to be the ways. There's got to be ways that the brands are going to want to activate in those types of experiences, and there may be a willingness to pay subscriptions as a result of that. At the same time, fans are still attending live games, even in a pandemic, showing there will be a demand for live events post-COVID-19. It will be hard for VR to compete. We haven't caught up with the alternative of an improved experience, Avila added. As long as you're competing with going to watch a game that you can go watch, it's never going to be the same. So as long as you're competing with a game that you can go watch. Now, what about when there are no games you can physically go to? The better of the reality tech experts believe AR experiences which superimpose computer-generated images over real-world images will come first. Stuart Burden, a senior software engineer at digital business consultancy firm Nerdery in the AR space, points to the fact that users don't need specialized hardware to get basic AR experiences. They're available on iPhones and iPads today. Part of the reason is that everyone has devices and people are investing in that. Burden recalled the demo of NBA's AR experience through its partnership with AR firm Magic Leap, which let fans highlight on multiple screens in their field of vision. Although Magic Leap failed to deliver the technology it promised and has undergone layoffs and restructuring, dedicated AR devices are still an area of interest for big tech companies from Snap to Microsoft. In particular, Avila sees Apple impacting the smart glasses market when it finally leaps in with its longer-awaited product rumored to be coming in 2023. So this is just only coming, guys, and getting more interesting by the day. Check it out. It's an amazing article. Sports leagues are betting on augmented reality as virtual courtside seats can't match the real thing. Jabari Young, excellent article, sir. Excellent read. CNBC Sports. Definitely check that out. And once again, guys, this is his ghetto point of view, bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of his ghetto point of view. Ooh. And lastly, guys, before I get out of here, in a case of what the heck is wrong, yo, this ex-Marine burns and tortures his weed man, then escapes from prison before trial. Then flips out when he gets double life in the courtroom. You cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. Yes, an ex-Marine flipped out on kills his weed man. Like burns him, tortures the body, all that. Escapes from jail. He's like, I'm not having this, I'm a Marine. And then when they catch him and bring him back to jail and the judge gives him double life, adding all this extra stuff, it's like, you guys don't have the right to even try to punish me. I mean, you can't make these type of stories up, guys. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. This is absolutely crazy. You can't make this stuff up, guys. And I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. What can you say? What can you say? What can you say? I don't know what can you say in this type of situation, but I mean, was the weed bad? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what would make a person lose their mind to that degree. Was the weed not good? I mean, what happened? You know what I'm saying? What happened? What happened? The name of the military vet is Hussein Nayeri. Hussein Nayeri. And what can you say in his situation except, wow, bro. Wow, bro. So according to the LA Times, Hussein Nayeri of Newport Beach gets life without parole in kidnap mutilation case, and the victim decries a sick act. This is by Christopher Goffard, Daily Pilot, subsidiary of Daily Pilot, as per the LA Times. Hussein Nayeri, the 41-year-old Newport Beach man who was convicted last year of playing a role in kidnapping and mutilation of a medical marijuana dealer, was sentenced Friday to a life in prison without parole for what a prosecutor described as a diabolical behavior. Prosecutors said the 2012 crime stemmed from Nayeri's mistaken belief that the owner of a prosperous Santa Ana pot dispensary, who had been referred to in court as John Doe, had hidden $1 million in the Mojave Desert. You cannot make this up. Nayeri and two other attackers abducted the man and a female housemate from a home on 25th Street in Newport Beach and forced them into a van. The attackers tortured the dispensary owner, tasing him, burning him with bleach, severing his penis, and leaving him in the desert. He was rescued after his housemate made it back to the road and hailed a passing sheriff's deputy. From a psychology standpoint, I live with the feeling of always looking over my shoulder, never feeling 100% safe in any one direction for any period of time, the dispensary owner told Judge Greg Pickett at Friday's sentencing hearing in Orange County Superior Court. The man detailed the injuries he had suffered, from chemical and taser burns to the genital mutilation he called the most gratuitous, sadistic injury. What kind of human being does such a thing, he said. The complications and pain, both physically and psychologically, which were connected to this sick act, are so profound and deep that words cannot begin to discuss the depths of my pain. Asking the judge to impose a life sentence on Nyeri, prosecutor Heather Brown said the crime was motivated by pure and utter greed. Mr. Nyeri wanting something that he believed the victim in this case had, and he was willing to do anything to get that, including torture and tase and whip and burn the victim so that he could try to get some mysterious money that he believed that he had. Now, if he did all of this, I'm pretty sure the guy may have had the money, but hey, he is incredibly dangerous. The acts he committed were diabolical. This is a great article, guys. Definitely recommend reading it. During the month-long trial in the summer of 2019, Nyeri admitting having surveilled the dispensary owner but denied participating in the abduction. Nyeri's DNA turned up on a glove inside the truck. Damn, these gloves! Again, these gloves! Jurors convicted him of 2 counts of kidnapping, 1 count of torture, though they concluded that he had not performed the mutilation personally. Jesus. This is crazy. This is a former Marine, y'all. So, I mean, this just goes to show you what they learning. What are they learning? What are they learning? What are they learning? Yeah, and a lot of articles don't even want to bring up the fact that this guy was a former Marine, but he feels he was wronged by the Marine Corps, he said. He was accused of theft when he left. Yeah, this is a very interesting article, guys. Very interesting read. Highly recommend it. Oh, guys, what can be said? I mean, what else can you say about this? I mean, this is just interesting times that we live in, guys. Just stay safe over here. Just be well. It's not that serious. I'm a big cannabis user like anybody else, but I'm not going to tase, mutilate, none of that just to get some cannabis, not to get some money from you for your cannabis. That's your money that you worked for. I guess I'm not that guy. Or what they'll do for money, as they say, I guess. But I guess if you've never been put in that situation where you can get that amount of money out of a person, then what? Then, you can talk all the shit you want about what you will or won't do, but you'll be surprised what you will do when chips fall, So I say all that to say, I probably wouldn't never do that to anybody for $1 million. And then he did all that, and then they cut the man's joint off, and he still didn't get the money. You did all that to that man, and you didn't get the money. Then you got double life, and then you mad at the judge for giving you double life because you feel you were wronged in the Marines. You feel like, you were justified in taking out whatever angst or aggression on this person. Again, I wasn't there. There's always 2 sides to every story, and I'm sure they're not sharing the one that would give us more perspective on the story, of course. But this is amazing, guys. This is an amazing story. Hussein Nyeri is his name again, ex-Marine. Wow. Double life. And guys, I just say thank you so much for rocking and vibing with the show. We're going to get out of here for today. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have an amazing guest lined up for Wednesday's show. It's going to be a treat. You don't want to miss it. Thank you so much. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Turn on your notification bell so that you get notified whether you're on Spotify, Amazon, Google, Overcast, Radio Republic, etc. Please make sure you turn on your notifications and tell a friend to tell a friend. Wednesdays and Sundays, we get it in. You guys have a beautiful night. Enjoy the week. We're going to conquer. We're going to exceed. We're going to soar high. We're going to live in abundance. We're going to be safe. We're going to be loved. We're going to share love. We're going to give love. We're going to heal, y'all. We're going to heal as individuals, as families, as brothers, as sisters, as lovers, as husband and wife, as fathers and children, as mothers and children, siblings. We're going to heal. We're going to love. Things may be rocky first, but we got this, gang. We made it this far, and And we only going to keep pushing forward. Keep yourself safe. Stay wise, stay vigilant, stay humble, stay smart, stay ready. Keep moving forward, keep advancing, but stay vigilant. Keep yourself ready for anything. Keep yourself moving forward. Never stop. Keep pushing to your goals. We keep pushing to our dreams. We keep making this world a better place one day at a time. Love and peace, gang. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view on Instagram. HGPOV show. Get at me, guys. I see you guys Wednesday. Have a great one. Peace.